Donna Thiesel. I'm your host of The Edge. We're in North Alabama. You can find us several different ways on the internet. You can go to icradio.media. You can also find us on television, two different ways. Channel 182 on Charter Communications, and that's in North Alabama, as well as Abundant TV, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Such a pleasure to be here today. I am with good friend, Alabama Secretary of State, the Honorable John Merrill. Good to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Donna. It's always good to be with you. And thank you for coming to your state capital today.
Oh, had a good time. You know, traffic was not bad at all. But we left during the old people's hours lunch. So that worked out really well. Well, I wanted just to start the conversation on you've been an exceptional Alabama Secretary of State.
Oh, you're very kind. We've been excited to have the privilege to serve in this role for the last 8 years, and getting ready to embark on a transition for us, but we are excited about our future and excited about the future for the state of Alabama as well.
Oh, absolutely. I wanted to start out, I know you don't want to, I'm going to brag about him, okay, because he's done such a good job, but I think it's been exceptional that other Secretary of States from other states of the United States have actually come to you for advice on what to do during elections.
Well, they have, and we've been excited to have had the privilege to work with them to help improve election security, transparency, and integrity in their states, as well as maintaining what we've established here in Alabama as the gold standard for election administration. It's a very exciting time as we have completed our 46th administration of an election without any significant issues whatsoever. Not many states can say that. And when Alabama is held as the gold standard by Concerned Women for Good Government in Washington, by the Heritage Foundation in Washington, by the University of Southern California in Los Angeles, that's something to be very proud of.
Well, we're very proud of you. So let's talk about a lot of accomplishments that have happened while you've been in office. What are you most proud of?
I think the thing that I'm the most proud of is that we have raised the bar for understanding what it means to be a registered voter who is involved in our state in the electoral process, breaking every record in the history of the state for voter registration, breaking every record in the history of the state for voter participation. And in doing that, we've set a new standard for what the expectation is. And we've done that by encouraging people to help us promote voter registration and photo ID delivery, from Coach Saban and former Auburn coach Gus Malzahn to Deontay Wilder and Charles Barkley and Jimmy Buffett and Taylor Hicks, Lionel Richie, Dr. Mae Jemison, and former President Donald Trump. So we've had a lot of success in doing that in a way that had never been done before.
That's exceptional because we all have listened. And I wanted to say this too. I didn't hear a whole lot. I'm from DeKalb County. Folks voted, but I don't think the zeal for getting out to vote happened until you became Alabama Secretary of State.
Well, one of the things that we did that had never been done before in the history of the state was to remind people all the time that they needed to be registered voters. And we didn't wait until a couple of months before the election to start promoting voter registration. We've done that every year since 2015, even though we didn't have an election that year. So 15 all the way through 2022 with paid advertisements on television and radio to promote the initiative, to make sure that people knew, hey, I need to be a registered voter, so I need to get out and make sure that my voice is heard so my vote will be counted.
Absolutely. Right out of the gate, I wanted to mention as well. And also, you've been to several of our North Alabama events, and Bobby Ledbetter, Twin City Used Car Sales, said to tell you hello. He's thinking about you.
You give Bobby my best. And one of the things that we have done is to make it a point of emphasis to visit all 67 counties. We've done that for 10 years in a row and 11 times overall. This year we had 486 unique visits to the 67 counties. And when you get out where the people are and you're talking to them, it means a lot to them. And they know that you care about them and their communities, and that's what we want to be remembered for.
Absolutely. You're remembered also, you and I both, as being Walmart greeters at several events.
That's right.
Happened, and it was so much fun. So, you know, several businesses in the area were giving away food. And so that was a fun event. Had lots of
All of
fun.
those activities were outstanding, and to have had the privilege to be a part of that, where we were interacting with people and letting them know that the community cared for them and cared about what was going on in their lives, and doing so in a small way, whether it was just providing food for one day, whether it was providing a sack of groceries for several meals, or whatever it happened to be. It meant a lot to me, so thank you for always including me.
Well, it was our pleasure to absolutely do that. A couple more components I think that probably brought it down to us, to the folks, was the magazine. I really love that magazine. Very informative. So
Thank you.
it was the brainstorm.
Well,
for that.
one of the things that we decided to do in 2015, as the year was coming to an end, was to let people know about all the things that had happened in this office during the 2015 year. We continued that in 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and now we're in the process of printing the 22 annual report to make sure that people know about the work that the Office of the Secretary of State has done for them. And then we send it out all over the state. We gave it out to those people that were coming to those events, and just reminded people these are your state tax dollars working for you in this area. And people appreciate it when they know that money is being well spent, and it's being spent in a way that gives a dividend for the people of Alabama, and that's our desire.
And we all got to be a little nosy. We got to see what happens inside the office, and that was kind of fun, you know, as women are. So that was another fun venture. Now, also the website is phenomenal and really helped out during election day.
Thank you. And one of the things that we felt like we needed to do was to upgrade and update our website to the point where any non-typical user could go and navigate the site in a way that enabled them to accomplish their goal during their visit. One of the things that I have a frustration with, Donna, is visiting a government building at the municipal, at the county, at the regional, state, or federal level, visiting a website at the local, at the county, at the regional, state, or federal level, and not ever having been there before and not being able to find what I need to find. It's my belief that if you go to a federal government building, state government, local government building, or one of their websites, and you've never been there before and you'll never go back again, you should be able to navigate the site just like as if you built it, because that purpose is to help educate you for whatever your visit's reason is. And if you can't do that, then they've defeated the purpose. You shouldn't have to have a master's degree in order to use the site.
That's true. It's been very helpful. Before the election, you know, how do I register? You know, I thought everybody, we came from a very political family. So dad, Democrat, mother, Republican. And so we thought everybody voted. Wow, not everybody does. I think we have a lot more voters now in Alabama, though.
Of course we do. 3,707,321 registered voters as of today, which is the second highest number in the history of the state. We are very excited to know that with 5 million people in our state, that 94% of all eligible Alabamians are registered to vote.
That is awesome. That, and also, who sat around thinking about one of the excuses people use not to vote? Because another excuse has been, I don't have an ID. Somebody thought about that.
Exactly. And so one of the things that we have done is to make sure that that opportunity to remove that objection is taken advantage of by visiting all 67 counties, independent of my visits, but visiting all 67 counties at least one time annually, so that we can talk to people in their community about getting a photo ID and actually providing one on the spot that day.
Even go to their homes.
Absolutely. We've done that more than 25 times since I've been the secretary. And it means a lot to people when they know that you'll go above and beyond what's required to make sure that they are accommodated.
What are your thoughts about voting day? You know, my growing up, you know, we only had one day to vote.
Sure, and we have some people too, Donna, that say, look, we need to have a day set aside that's a holiday for voting. And one of the things I've tried to help people understand on that is, if you have a holiday in Alabama and it was going to be election day, I've asked people, what do you do on holidays? And they say, well, we go to the beach, or we go to the mountains, or we go to the lake, or sometimes we just stay around the house. And I said, well, what would you do if election day was a holiday.
Can answer that one.
Well,
Go
obviously.
fishing, go swimming.
Exactly. And they would take off Friday
Right.
and they'd go back to work on Wednesday.
Great point.
So
I
they'd
didn't
get
think about
5
that.
days off if they did that. And so that's why that's not a good idea. What is a good idea is to maintain the standard day of voting, not create a voting period, but to have one day of voting set aside for that purpose, just like we do now. And we have the absentee process that's in effect for 55 days before the election. So we've got almost 2 months to vote. If you are not going to be able to vote on election day, then you can vote early if there's a need.
Absolutely. Yeah, so many things to think about. Yeah, it's always been kind of not a church day, but a sacred day for my family. You know, you to vote, you drive when you're 16, when you're old enough, you start voting.
That's right.
Yeah, and I have to tell you this, the young folks, I saw this kind of like a revival coming in. Because I actually worked the polls in Geraldine, First Baptist Church this past year. And I saw the young people coming in, all excited. Parents were bringing them in. I was really excited about that.
That is great news.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to see in all 67 counties all over the state is older family members encouraging younger family members to become involved and to exercise their right to vote.
Yeah, we were just told go vote. Of course, it was a tearing on one side, my mom and dad, you know, 2 different parties there. But it's still sacred. It's the thing we all have to do. Absolutely. We're going to have to go into a commercial break, and we will be right back in just a few minutes with more of this exciting interview. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales look forward to serving you. And you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Fort Payne and Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by the locations in Fort Payne and Gadsden. We sincerely look forward to serving you. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. At Miracle Pottery, each pottery item is hand-turned from durable stoneware clay body and non-scratch high fire glaze, dishwasher, oven, and microwave safe. Our handcrafted dinnerware and bakeware will last a lifetime, staying just as beautiful as the day it was born. Each pot is signed, first with a cross in thanks to our Lord, our name, and then the year. We say a tiny prayer for the receiver of each piece that they receive abundant blessings in their lives. It's not just about pottery. We're located in the foothills of Appalachian Mountains near Mentone and Valley Head, Alabama. We're open every day, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and we ask you call ahead for tour groups. Please go to our website, miraclepottery.com, for info about our getaway cottages. You can also call us at 256-635-6863.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere My Pillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have My Pillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing My Pillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last.
Patterson's Music and Jewelry is a full-line music store offering guitar repair, setup and sound installation equipment, as well as instrument rentals and new and used guitars and amps. We offer jewelry at affordable prices and jewelry repair, watch batteries and link removal, and we offer personalized jewelry such as fingerprint, mother's rings, and pendants. Shop in historic downtown Fort Payne on Galt Avenue. Hours are 9 to 5 Monday through Friday and 9 to 2 on Saturday. Call 256-845-4115. That's 256-845-4115. And thank you for trusting Patterson's Music and Jewelry. Okay, we are back. Thank you so much for watching The Edge, an afternoon drive home, as well as found on Abundance TV, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. So other Secretary of States are probably watching you right now because we are syndicated, so we're all over the country, all over the world, as a matter of fact, right now. Maybe Australia could learn something from you.
Oh, that's great.
I think it would be a great
It'd
thing.
be better if we could visit them and teach them in
Can
person.
we do that?
I'd love
Yeah,
to
let's do that.
We don't have enough time.
We could be the ambassador.
The term's about to end, but something we should have thought of a while ago.
Absolutely. I am with the Honorable Alabama Secretary of State, John Merrill. So great to be in your office today.
Thank you, Donna. Great to have you.
Well, I happen to have a guy who carried the bags and things for me. My husband, Philip, came in. He said this is the first time he's been inside for several years.
Well, we're so glad he could join you today.
Yeah.
He's a great asset to not only you, but to the community and to our state as a whole.
He most certainly is, and my arms aren't near as tired as they were the first time I came down here. But anyway, thank you so much for letting us come out here. It's been awesome. And I wanted to talk about Cindy Merrill just for a few minutes.
You.
That girl is, I'm going to tell you what, she's the pusher, isn't she?
No doubt. She has a plan and she wants to make sure that it's executed. So we're very, very fortunate.
She's definitely the woman behind the man. And there's also another lady who works in this office right here. And I'm going to tell you what, I love her. She has been such a huge, huge help.
Well, she's the best at what she does in the state of Alabama. And Karen Guthrie is the lady that you're talking about. And Karen has been a tremendous blessing, not just to the Office of the Secretary of State, but to the state of Alabama as a whole. She formerly worked over in the Attorney General's office before we were able to steal her to get her to come over here to work with us. And the only thing I regret about our association with her is that it wasn't for the full 2 terms in the full 8 years, because as many positive things as we've been able to do, we know we would have been able to do a lot more if she'd been here for the whole time that we've been in office.
I totally agree. So organized. As a matter of fact, she let me know real up front I needed to talk with her instead of you when it came to appointments. She said,
Well,
no,
that's
talk
only
with
because
me.
she wants to make sure it gets on the calendar. Whereas I want to accommodate everybody. She knows I want to accommodate everybody. What she makes sure of is that we're not trying to accommodate everybody at the same time. And so sometimes we have to make sure that we've got those scheduled appointments where they're supposed to be, not just when the people would like them to be. And that's not always easy, but she makes sure that stays straight.
It's been perfect. It most certainly has. You know, I kind of put her, because Phil is the organizer in our business. I'm not. You don't want me planning anything. So, so before anything comes through, he says, hand it to me. And he also says for me, I need to type everything as well. I can't read my handwriting. So says I should have been a doctor. Probably should have. But we were talking about your time here as Alabama Secretary of State and several accomplishments. And I know you had some fun moments, and are there some things you could have changed or you wish you could have changed that might be just out of your hands?
Well, there are a couple of things that we wish we had been able to address at a different level. One of those is dealing with voter fraud. I mean, we've had 8 convictions on voter fraud since I've been the Secretary of State, but one of the things that I think we could do is have more prosecutors interested in seeking indictments if they felt like the conviction would result in deterring the activity from happening in the future. And it's been difficult to get that kind of bill passed through the legislature because, frankly, I'm not confident that each and every person that commits voter fraud needs to go to jail. What they're trying to do is to negatively impact and influence an election. So if you find a way to make them pay for that criminal activity that would hurt them more than anything else, I think that would be more beneficial. So what are some of those things that could be considered besides incarceration? Number one is you can make them lose the right to vote for an extended period of time. 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, whatever the judge felt was appropriate. Number two, you can make sure that those people had to pay a fine or a fee associated with the criminal activity in which they were involved in, which means that money actually goes to the treasury of the state or to the local community that was impacted. Number three, you can make sure that those individuals that are convicted are not eligible to serve as members of boards of education, boards or commissions in their local community or at the state level, trustee positions that are associated with the state, educational institutions or things of that nature, or other appointed or elected positions. And when you start to hit them where it hurts the most, it actually deters the criminal activity more so, in my mind, than it would if you actually incarcerated those people and they didn't even lose their right to vote.
Right, totally agree with that. I mean, that because it's very important, you know. But how have you been able to keep voter fraud from happening so rapidly here? That is
Well, we're very
other
fortunate.
areas?
We have 68 outstanding probate judges in our 67 counties, 68 outstanding circuit clerks in the 67 counties, 67 great sheriffs, 201 registrars that work hard every day to make sure that the voter rolls are secure. And in doing so, it enables us to create a comfortable environment for those people to work, and also one that is standardized so they understand if we do this, this, and this, then the result is going to be what it needs to be to ensure that the activity that is being exercised is fully taken advantage of by all the people that are involved, from the voter to the election administrator.
Absolutely, and you're spot on. In DeKalb County, we got it going on.
No doubt.
Absolutely, and wow, I mean, it's been a really good time for you, a good run.
Well, we've been very, very successful, and one of the reasons for that is because of our great team here, and then our team members that are outside this office that are all around the state of Alabama that enable us to be able to communicate effectively with the voter and also to administer the election at the level that the expectation is for all of our people.
And communication is standard. I mean, it has to happen, and we feel like we've had it with you in office.
Well, thank you for saying that. We feel that way too, and we want to make sure that people know that we have put them at the front of everything we've tried to do to be the best representative we could possibly be to help them accomplish their goals
Well,
in
we
their
feel
home
like
communities.
that's happened. We
Thank you.
certainly do. What would you like to say to the next person coming into your slot?
Well, I think the most important thing is for the individual who serves as the secretary to listen to the constituents that he or she represents, to listen to the team that he or she has assembled, to listen to the people that call here that have concerns and issues that need to be addressed. And then when you listen, you will often find the answer to the question in the dialogue, and that will enable you to be much more effective in your role.
Absolutely. I know there are other people you'd like to thank who've helped you out as well. I know you have some family members.
Well, we certainly do, and of course I want to again thank Cindy that you introduced earlier, and then my children who've been very supportive of the opportunity I've had to serve here, and then my mother and my sister, and
I love the pictures with you and your mom.
thank you for that. And being able to have the support through our family and through the people at our church at home and people in our home community in Tuscaloosa County has enabled us to accomplish a number of things that we think have directly benefited the people of the state of Alabama.
Let's talk just for a few minutes left to folks who, because we're seeing this, it's kind of like a revival of young people who are thinking about coming in to serve later on in their life. What recommendations would you give them? I'm talking school-wise. What do they need to prepare for?
Well, I think the first thing that people need to do is to remember this. There's an election every 2, 4, or 6 years. And in spite of the fact that you may be encouraged to think that you need to be the one to serve, you also need to make sure that you're doing what's in the best interest of your family. Because a lot of times young people that want to serve are in a more difficult position because of family obligations that they have that they may not give full attention to at this particular time. One of the things that happened when we were taking down some of our pictures as we're getting ready to leave this office is Karen asked me, she said, you know, you have your pictures numbered and you have the dates on there when they were taken. And she said, there were a couple of gaps in there, several years between the time when you had some of these pictures taken with some national figures or state figures. And she said, what happened during that time? I said, that's when Brooks and Allie Grace were between the age of birth and between the age of about 14, 15 years of age. Because that period of time is time that I tried to dedicate with them because that's time I wouldn't
It's a
get back.
crucial age.
And so it's important for people to recognize that. But as far as being in a position to serve the public, I think the most important thing is to be involved at your local community level, and then to make sure that you get to know people, they get to know you, and then when they have confidence in you, then they will encourage you to find a way to represent them, whether it's in elective or appointed office.
You think it's more about knowledge or personality or caring for others?
I think people care more about you when they know you care about them and what they're doing. And when people see folks invested in the community and they see people wanting to make a positive impact and doing so without trying to seek personal gain, it means more to them. And so they're more likely to support those kind of individuals than they are people that are strictly in it for themselves.
Absolutely. 2 minutes left in this segment. What would you like to tell the folks before you leave?
Well, I just want you to know what a great honor and privilege it's been for me to serve you as the 53rd Secretary of State of Alabama. Each and every day we've tried to work extraordinarily hard to do all we could to be as effective as possible in the role that you have given us to lead in. And the team here has been strictly dedicated to meeting the needs of the people that we serve and that we represent, and in doing so with an open heart, an open mind, and a spirit of servanthood, we believe that we have more people that know that our goal is to have them believe that we work for them, because that's our singular purpose, is to let them know that we work for you. And we wanted to do so in a way that there was no doubt about why we were doing what we were doing or what it would mean for them if they gave us the privilege.
Absolutely. What's next for John Merrill?
Well, January the 15th is the last day in the office as the Secretary, and January the 16th I become the Director of Public Policy and Strategic Markets for Wagner Engineering. That's a civil engineering firm that's based in Birmingham. It is actually headquartered in Jackson, Mississippi. They have offices in 7 states, including Alabama. And I'm excited to have the opportunity to take this next step and to continue to help our communities, our counties, our municipalities, and our state and federal government be all it can be in the area of infrastructure improvement.
Absolutely. John, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Donna.
It's always a pleasure. And thank you for watching The Edge and Afternoon Drive Home. We'll see you in just a few with another awesome guest. Thank you, John.